Thanks, David and Khan, for making it today. To our audience, we want to make this more of a very interactive discussion around happenings in the crypto, the trends that are emerging. And with me today, we have Hyungsuk Kang, who is the Cto of Standard Protocol, which is one of the emerging companies in the blockchain and digital currency space, as well as David, who runs BitKE and Kenyan, a leading publication on digital assets from Africa. So we want to make this a bit more interactive, so we'll start with a bit of introduction with Kang about what it does at Standard Protocol and how he got into the space. So welcome, Kang. Maybe a brief introduction about yourself.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm a CTO at Standard Protocol, and I'm working on the substrate and the EVM versions of Standard to be deployed on Ethereum and the Polkadot ecosystem. And we try to be a multi-chain ecosystem, and we try to venture out how these multi-chain ecosystem can interact with each other in the implementation of in other blockchains, but also we have the hub blockchain and Polkadot, and then how we can interact with each other. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, it's welcome to see you guys.
Maybe as we start this off, Mr. Kang, in addition to your role, maybe tell us briefly, how did you get, what led you to become an entrepreneur into the blockchain space?
So I've been in a stablecoin companies, and then saw some like shortcomings of the algorithmic stablecoins that could actually make a price fall. So for example, Basis Cash, they provide like an algorithmic stablecoin with the believing that they're going to be like a new stablecoin of the future. But it turns out that it just prints out money so hard and then cannot really react to in a price fall situation where it just sacrifices users' ownership to keep their prices up. Like as many other algorithmic stablecoins were doing the same, and I wanted to come up with some robust stablecoin ecosystem, but also in a multi-chain environment. And yeah, here I found the Standard Protocol to achieve that, and I try to set up pretty much the most robust stablecoin ecosystem and in the multi-chain environment.
Maybe while you are starting this, could you briefly tell us about what was the inspiration behind starting this project, this particular project? Were you finding, did you have a challenge personally, or what's the real inspiration behind the project?
So for the inspiration, it was actually, I just found out that although algorithmic stablecoins had some problem, basically it has problems in the structure, but also collateralized stablecoins haven't been really innovated so far. So we had MakerDAO really doing well in the Ethereum, but haven't reached out to other blockchains. So far they have to reach to Polygon, I think, but they're pretty much focused on Ethereum right now. And also the liquidation method is pretty much needs a fairer mechanisms to be distributed to those holders, not just really small group of people who has a maker token. So I wanted to come up with some more improvements on the liquidation engine, and also I wanted to test out if there's a futures could be applied with the same engine with the CDP. So I'm actually coming up with this futures with the CDP engines right now. And yeah, that's pretty much inspiration from the MakerDAO, and then I came up with the rebase mechanisms from Basis, but you know, Basis is the starter algorithmic stablecoin, but what they have done really great is that they can actually measure the total demand of the stablecoin, and then they can adjust the supply of the stablecoin to be distributed in the next rebase. But we try to do that. We try to apply that mechanism as well as Amplify did to our stablecoin mechanism as well. So those two are my inspiration of building this project. And yeah, we're also getting more inspirations from the existing projects and try to make a standard out of it. Yeah.
All right, great. I mean, thanks for that great intro. And maybe if we can just dive a little bit deeper into, Standard Protocol. What would you say differentiates Standard Protocol from other projects or stablecoins?
So we're actually trying to extend our use case of stablecoin to to blockchain games. Basically, I think if one wants to tackle into like the offline commerce with the stablecoin first, I think it's really hard because it needs to tackle the regulators and all these. But Standard Protocol tries to extend our stablecoins use case to the blockchain itself. We try to, I mean, just the world is now getting decentralized, I think. And I think the new world, I think called metaverse, is now coming in the cyber world. And we want it to be the currency of that future. So we're applying our meter stablecoin to game projects to collaborate with to build their gaming economy, to make it available for their items to be purchasable with our stablecoins. That's what we're trying to do. And that's other than that, and technical side, we try to give the more fairer mechanism on the liquidation, definitely. So MakerDAO, when they liquidate, it puts out an auction where like few maker holders can actually participate from the documentation from I heard. I have no idea about the recent situation, but from that perspective, I think we have a better or fairer mechanism by drawing those collaterals to our internal DEX. I mean, it's also compatible with the other project because it's just basically Uniswap, but we just throw our collaterals to those meter stablecoin pair so that all meter holders can actually have the liquidated collaterals in a cheaper price instead of having an auction. So it's more convenient, faster, and more fairer method to distribute the liquidations. So you could actually have an investment opportunity in both bull run and bear run with our stablecoin. So in bull run, it can just enable leverage trading where if you think like, for example, Matic price will go up, then you can just collateralize Matic and then issue stablecoin, generate stablecoin, and then use that stablecoin to buy Matic. And then sometime later, you could just need to pay back the loan that you borrowed before Matic price goes up with the stablecoin, and then get your Matic back and get profit. In bear run, by just holding a meter, can actually prepare a lot of buying and liquidated assets. So you just need to hold meters, and then you might see some people who are trying to sell their loans as like a bond, as like an NFT to get their collaterals back, because if they liquidate it, they're not gonna be able to get it through a lot because other competitors were gonna try to buy that too. So if you have a lot of meters, there are gonna be a lot of people who wants to sell their loans with the cheaper price to get the collaterals, and also you could also participate in a liquidated pair to buy those liquidated collaterals to profit in the future. So for example, let's just say that one has collateralized wrap Bitcoin, and later he's like CDP is at the danger to be liquidated. He could sell it in a form of NFT right now. We have implemented called NFT called B1 to authorize the CDP as like an NFT, and that guy could sell like the CDP positions by like a cheaper price to like a person, and then to meet with the meter or something else, and then the buyer could just buy the collaterals staying inside that position and then get it more than they just bought. Other than that, someone could just liquidate those position and then let collaterals to be thrown and then buy that with meter. So there's a whole lot of things to do with the meter, and there are a bunch of investment opportunity, and that's what we maximize to do. Yeah, and then more synthetic assets are going to be integrated with the meter, with the GameFi platform. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the difference. We're making a smarter stablecoin than any other platform right now, I think.
Speaking of decentralized finance, I think we've seen the DeFi space explode in the last 1 year. And even when you compare this to the rest of the crypto industry, I think there's been a tremendous growth in the DeFi space. What would you say maybe attracts so many people into the DeFi space?
So I think the reason why DeFi exploded is that it's just so much fun than just holding a Bitcoin, you know? I mean, back then we just hold a Bitcoin and then pray for the price to go up. But there's definitely a DeFi where you can actually leverage your asset and then get more assets depending on the price situations and all that. But I think the thing is, the recent DeFi exploded with the expecting that the price will go up. But I think the most DeFi project didn't really prepare when the price goes down. So as you can see, for example, like if you're adding a liquidity and then you get like a reward with sushi, it's like you're actually getting like a call option with the base price of 0. It's kind of crazy, but they're doing it because they expect the crypto price will go up all the time. But I think in the next DeFi boom, I think people will also be interested on the case when the price drops and then still want to find like an investment opportunity there. We try to venture out and then we try to become like a pioneer of this put option situations so that Meteor basically can be leveraged to buy those liquidated assets. Also, we're going to put put options in the synthetic assets so that people can actually find a way to get profit in bear run too. So I assume that those days the DeFi for bear run will come, and that's what we're preparing right now.
I was asking, with just the recent drawdown in the market, have you seen some of these use cases come into play? And have has Meta been used in some of the areas that you just highlighted?
So I think Meteor is really new project because everyone thought that they consider case the price will go up always. And yeah, but there has been so many reports that liquidations are not often really publicly transparent. For example, Mirror or Anchor has been reported that they have been front running those liquidations and all that. Also, MakerDAO wants to improve their liquidation engines and all that. So as you can see from those news, I think we can find out that people have not been caring about how to liquidate and then break down those broken positions and then efficiently distribute to the people. So yeah, so I think Meteor is really a new project. I think it's going to be really fun and crazy. We're not following other like general project. We actually want to do crazy wild things with the moonshot thinking. And yeah, please expect the product launch at the end of September. We strive hard to launch that as fast as possible, and we'll see.
Do you mind also, talking a bit about your integration with Polkadot and Kusama?
Sure. Kusama and Polkadot is like a layer 0 chain. So what layer 0 chain is like, layer 1, you have this Ethereum smart contract, all these. Layer 0 is the chain which connects those main nets all. So it's pretty much bigger concept than the smart contract chains that we have right now. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. You can enable like full transmission from layer 1 to another by having this layer 0, and then have more shared security between those layer 1 and layer 0. So yeah, I'm very looking forward to be connected to Polkadot as well. And I expect that our pair chain as like a layer 1 will be the hub of the governance of our multi-chain ecosystem. So it will govern on the inflation and the issuing of the coins that we have right now in the distribution in Ethereum and the Polygon. We try to test it out on Orthodox, our Kusama pair chain coming up. And once we win the auction, we're going to venture out this multi-chain ecosystem and how it goes.
I mean, yeah. And then along those lines, I know that you're also trying to be a multi-chain stablecoin as well. Maybe mind also talking a little bit about that.
So the idea about multi-chain stablecoin is that we want to be interoperable stablecoin solution, most interoperable stablecoin solutions in the blockchain. So basically, we try to support in every layer of the blockchain. So for example, in substrate in layer 1, we try to come up with the runtime module to natively generate the stablecoins and then trade with it across this layer 1 blockchain. Also in layer 2, we're trying to venturing out the Meti style, which is a layer 2 solution to come up with the more faster transactions to be done in faster than the layer 1. Sometimes layer 1 is so overflowed with the transactions that they cannot sometimes handle. So we try to provide that as well. And we try to form like an inclusive community that we can have multiple implementation across the blockchain. So yeah, wherever you are, Meteor will be there, and you can also have fun. Yeah.
Speaking of the integration, Mr. Kang, will you say, maybe what will you say excites you most about the industry going forward?
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you well. Can you say that again, please?
I'm saying, speaking of all these integrations that we're doing, and there is integrations, I think, with other partners, what excites you most about where the blockchain industry is headed?
Oh, I'm actually very excited to partner with the Shiden, which is a Kusama parachain right now. I think Polkadot has finished the testing their layered 0 system and pretty much launching out their betas with the Kusama, which is Polkadot's canary net. And yeah, they're doing great. And we're like and Shiden is the multi-chain dApp hub of Polkadot. And we have a dApp trying to be like a multi-chain. So definitely partnering with Shiden will reach out our stablecoin ecosystem to every blockchain like layer 1 system, as I don't know. So I'm very excited about the partnership, and we're gonna definitely be on Shiden. And then yeah, so like staking program will be there. So be prepared to buy some Shiden and then wait for our events to come once we launch it.
Yeah. Speaking of some of these integrations, maybe I might ask, what else can we expect in the near future for Standard Protocol, and maybe also in the long term? Can we expect Standard Protocol to evolve from what it is now? As you mentioned about the metaverse, as this universe changes, and we know there are a lot of changes that happen in this space. What can we expect? For Standard Protocol in the near and the long term?
In the near future, I hope to collaborate with other game projects to support a purchase system using our meter currency. And in the near future, I think Meteor will be like a stable coin for the whole game metaverse. And then later on, but in the near future, we're gonna definitely see implementation in Polygon, Ethereum, or Shiden. And then we're going to test out multi-chain ecosystem by launching our Kusama parachain. If it goes well, I mean, well, it's basically like an auction. So I think there are many competitors who are competing for it. So, but if we get selected as like a parachain, we'll definitely reach out. We'll definitely venture out this multi-chain ecosystem, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah. Making an interoperable stablecoin is so much fun and crazy.
Also, maybe just touching on the gaming aspect. I mean, any collaborations you might mention at the moment, or also specifically when you talk about gaming, are we talking about the current gaming ecosystem in the blockchain space?
Oh, we're actually thinking about current gaming system in the blockchain, and also we're trying to talk with Clayton. And Kakao really has a lot of games in Korea, so pretty sure those game providers will be interested into building their metaverses too. And we're talking actively in Korea to discuss about the partnerships between those projects as well. As I said, it's multi-chain, so I think we'll definitely reach out to Clayton as well.
Maybe something, Kang, that maybe I can take you a little bit backwards, will be on the use cases. What do you think will be the best use cases, particularly in most of the emerging and frontier markets? And in this case, looking at, say, Africa, what will be the best use case for a Standard Protocol in say, improving the financial services industry?
So what I found about the Africa was that even though your bank interest is like 15%, but your inflation rate is like 20%. So it's basically not profitable by storing your African currency into the bank right now. But if you guys buy crypto or store it with the meter currency that we have right now, just buy it with the meter token, then you have this chance to buy a liquidated asset in a cheaper price. Also, you have the stable coin that you can use it for payment in some cases where some stores might agree to accept our meter currency, then you can pretty much use it for e-commerce. Also, you have a chance to buy those NFTs in game market that could go up, that might go up in a huge price and then profit. So it's definitely like a much more smarter money right now that we have than, sorry to say, but yeah, Africa right now. Yeah. But yeah, that's what it is. I think you can have 3 use cases, but one thing for sure, it's definitely smarter, I think. Yeah.
Speaking of, say, NFTs, I think those are some of the things that have also exploded in the last 1 year or so. I think recently we saw a leading NFT marketplace, which is OpenSea. I think they announced that they did over $3 billion in volumes within a very, very short time. And you see in Africa where my thinking is when you see on the application of that will be, say, the artist, the creative industry. Speaking of now on the implementation side, what's the best way to implement that in this African market?
Oh, so to have that in African market, well, I believe that there are many creatives out there in Africa, but like, I think we need to actually have like a team to host their works, to be like, to put that in OpenSea or other platform right now. I think, yeah, actually educating them or just some kind of having like an agency where those artists can actually host their NFTs in the OpenSea or other marketplaces, quite important. But yeah, we can definitely help out on gaming side, I think. For the art, I hope OpenSea supports it somehow.
Maybe as we come to a close of this, Mr. Kang, maybe as you built, I think building the system for the last couple of years and being at the center of the industry in the blockchain innovation, maybe you can touch briefly about what are some of the key lessons that you've learned in starting a new tech business that can also, lessons that can also help aspiring technology entrepreneurs.
To tell how I came up, how I became like in the center of the blockchain business, I think. Well, actually, I started with the open source developer who contributed to other projects. And I think just contributing to the other projects actually helped me a lot about understanding their projects and the codes. So yeah, I mean, I encourage other African developers to actually try that. I mean, internet is so wide, and sometimes it has it is really like a flood of information, so that you can actually prepare yourself to become like founding a blockchain companies or making a great project. I think, yeah, it's all out there. You just need to be really active on finding it. Also pretty smart on where you learn. In this case, I think just go to GitHub, find like famous projects and then try to contribute. And then you try to build a network of those contributors. And then, yeah, you pretty much get your ways straight about it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, Kang. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was really nice, having a chat with you. Having a better understanding of standard protocol and actually also the use cases that this stablecoin finds not just within the crypto and blockchain space, but also on the continent, of which obviously we need such solutions. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. We try to venture out the protocol for next generation. So yeah, next finance to come. So yeah, it's definitely great to help you guys out. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.